Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Force here with some more EverQuest Next Landmark. Today is going to be a little bit of an update video. We've now had the alpha for the game available for a little bit over a week, and I just wanted to let you know sort of how it's been going. Now, the first few days of the alpha were kind of a hot mess, not gonna lie. In fact, a good portion of the first week was a hot mess with the servers constantly going down, crashes, consistent voxel wipes, which basically means people were losing their claims, and all sorts of terrible things like that. I mean, it was alpha. It's sort of what you expect. It's not that far-fetched. It's not that unreasonable. In an alpha for a game, you can expect it to be a bit buggy when you start things out, but most of that has now since cleared up. It's not nearly as bad as it was for those first few days, and basically it's reliable now. You know, obviously at some point I expect some more voxel wipes to occur. I don't expect to keep everything that I've constructed up until this point forever, but you know, it's at least reliable in the sense that you can start building, and now as a result people have started building. For the first few days, most of the Landmark subreddit was mostly people complaining about crashes and asking when the servers were coming up. Well, now it's just a ton of pictures of people's claims and the stuff that they've built so far. And actually right now I'm just showing you around my current area. I'm gonna try to do some underground sort of vegetation-filled cavern on top of this really cool castle that I'm gonna try to make very dark and dreary. Right now it's just sort of medieval themed, but I want it to be oppressive. I just want to have sort of an evil looking castle. It's going to be my game plan. I think it's actually coming along quite nicely. So yes, the servers are now stable and reliable. People are starting to build. There have been a few improvements to the game beyond fixing any bugs and crashes and working on those memory leaks. The whole claim system has been revamped, so you're going to notice instead of just a bunch of white squares that the map is filled with, you can actually see the claims. And when you place down the claims, it's much more obvious now the areas that will be available, so you'll be able to see ahead of time if there's some place you can place a claim and you can run over and you can stick your flag in the ground. They've also added a lot more servers, and this is going to lead into my next point, and that is that the game's feeling much more empty than it did in those first few days. Now, there's a few reasons why this could be, and I'd like to talk with you about it. But first of all, I'm going to show you here. So originally, there were only a pair of servers. Now there are a lot more servers. You can see we've got 5 servers in total. So we've got a lot of new continents for people to stake their claim on. And again, there's 5 now. There were originally only 2. Now, just as a quick reminder, if anyone wants to come visit me and my claim, I am on the Courage Shallows Courage server and the Shallows continent, if I can even find it. There it is. So if you ever want to come see my claim, just go to Courage Shallows, and you'll see this big castle over here. At least it's a castle for now. And yeah, that's where my stuff is. Now, there's a lot less people. A lot less. It used to be the case that I saw people consistently running around, chopping down trees, mining, and all sorts of stuff like that. And even in the tier 3 zone, it wasn't just tier 1 zones because people were just starting out. There was people all over in tier 1, 2, and 3 zones. But now, it's sort of a ghost town. As you can notice, we've got one person over there, and that's it within my vicinity. Now, why is that? Well, I think there's a couple of reasons. I think the first biggest reason is just that people have, at this point, the people who bought into the alpha have gathered what they need to have a claim and have everything they need at their claim. Like, I rarely leave my claim. People don't see me wandering around because I have everything I need. At the moment, I've got the top tier of all of the crafting tables. I've got the highest that's available based on the resources that are available in the game at the moment. So I have no reason to leave my claim unless I need more construction materials, but I'm just using stone and wood for the most part, with the exception of a few select areas, like my windows are made out of obsidian. But for the most part, I'm just using stone and wood, and that stuff's plentiful, and I don't even need to go far away from my claim. So yeah, the servers are feeling a lot more dead, I think, because there are a lot more of them, so people are able to spread out, but also because I think people are just hanging out at their claims and building stuff. And this is evidenced in the fact that there are tons of pictures on the subreddit now of people just showing off their claims rather than complaining about the servers or asking where to gather separate, different materials to level up their gathering tools and things of that nature. So yeah, I think that's why it seems a lot more dead. I think another thing too is people could just be, you know, there's not a ton to do right now. I'm not gonna lie about that. There's not a ton to do. At the moment, it's just gathering and building, and that's it. Now, I am still enjoying the building process. I did burn out last week. That is absolutely true. I burnt the heck out, but that is because I was ridiculous with this game. I was playing 6 to 8 hours a day for a few days in a row, and it's understandable why you could burn out doing something like that. So I was playing a ton for the first few days, and then I took a couple of days off because I'm just like, I am just worn down from doing so much gathering and crafting. But yeah, I just think people are probably hanging out at their claims, maybe taking a little break because there's not a ton to do at the moment, unless you really enjoy building. I'm still really enjoying building again. I'm having a great time putting this thing together. Much different than the building that I had prior to this. And it's fun. It's fun to be creative. It's fun to try to make something that's visually interesting that I think people will enjoy. I've got to do a bit of work to the front. I want, I don't know, maybe to have some windows and stuff in here. We'll figure out exactly what I want to do. But overall, pretty happy with my new invention. So that's it, guys. Again, I just wanted to do a little bit of an update video. Something else that they did is they've you know, in the process of beginning to balance out the gathering resources. For example, burled wood logs were like impossible, and they've made it so that's a lot easier to make burled wood planks. It used to take 100 logs to make a plank, now it only takes 60, and I think that's actually a pretty good change because it was kind of rough before. I did this side over here, and it's facing the absolute wrong direction. I hate it. Look at the light. I love the lighting in this game, though. It's just so pretty. It looks so good. This game just, it looks great. The style of this game is absolutely fantastic. All right, guys, so that is going to do it. Once again, I just wanted to give you a little update as to how things were going with Landmark so far. Still having fun building, burnt out for a few days. There's still not a ton to do, but if you like the idea of gathering and crafting in a beautiful game such as this, and also keep in mind that there's a lot of changes coming in the future, and I think that that's when this game's probably going to see its big boost once we get AI, enemy AI, and combat added to the game, as well as the ability to script events. I think all of that stuff is really going to make this game take off. But for now, building and crafting, that's what it's about. So if you like that, maybe give it a look. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Thanks so much for watching this little update video for EverQuest Next Landmark. I'll put out more videos once I deem them relevant. I might just do stuff where I'm showing off different people's creations or giving you updates as to how my castle is going. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, stay tuned for more Landmark coverage as I deem updates necessary. Thanks so much for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe, keep watching, and keep owning. Still a little glitchy at times. Not a fan of that. It's alpha.